Okay, so you guys already know I'm obsessed with traveling, right? Like, it's kind of my thing. But when I started planning my trip to Sweden, I was shook. I literally knew nothing. Obviously, cinnamon rolls were at the top of my list, but what else is there? Don't judge. Anyway, I spent weeks researching the best travel tips, and let me tell you, Sweden is so much more than just cinnamon rolls. Like, way more. From Stockholm's cuteness overload to the magical northern lights, Sweden is literally a dream. So, buckle up, buttercups, because I'm about to drop some serious knowledge bombs and turn you into a Sweden expert. First things first, Stockholm. Guys, this city is like walking into a fairy tale. Seriously, Gamla Stan, the old town, is a maze of cobblestone streets, colorful buildings, and cute little shops. You could literally get lost for hours, and I kind of did. Don't tell anyone. And if you're feeling fancy, check out Drottningholm Palace. It's like straight out of Beauty and the Beast, but like the Swedish version. And you can't forget about the archipelagos. Okay, so archipelago is a fancy word for a group of islands, and Sweden has a ton of them. Like over 30,000. I know, right? We took a boat trip, and it was the most serene, beautiful thing ever. Oh, and speaking of beautiful Visby, it's this adorable little town on the island of Gotland, and it's like stepping back in time. Think medieval walls, cobblestone streets, and the cutest cafes you've ever seen. Alright, let's talk food. Swedish food is so much more than just meatballs, but like, the meatballs are amazing. I could eat them every day, and I kind of did. Anyway, you have to try a classic fika. It's like a coffee break, but make it Swedish. Think coffee, pastries, and lots of cozy vibes. And the seafood, so fresh and delicious. We went to this cute little restaurant by the water, and I had the best grilled salmon of my life. And the best part? You can find amazing food everywhere, from Michelin star restaurants to street food stalls. Trust me, your taste buds will thank you. Sweden has such a rich history, and it's everywhere you look. Like literally, you can't turn a corner without bumping into a castle or something. The Vasa Museum is a must-see. It's this huge warship that sank on its maiden voyage in the 1600s, and they pulled it out of the water and turned it into a museum. It's wild. And speaking of wild, you have to learn about the Vikings. They were fierce warriors who sailed the seas and raided villages. And Sweden has a ton of Viking history. We went to this Viking village, and it was like stepping back in time. They even let me try on a Viking helmet. Okay, but can we talk about ABBA? They're like Sweden's national treasure. We went to the ABBA Museum, and it was so much fun. Chapter 4. Where to stay in Sweden. From cozy cabins to ice hotels, no cap. Okay, so Sweden has every kind of accommodation you can imagine. Like, literally. If you're looking for something cozy and charming, you have to stay in a traditional Swedish cabin. They're usually made of wood, painted in these cute colors, and surrounded by nature. We stayed in one by a lake, and it was the most peaceful, relaxing experience ever. But if you're feeling bougé, Stockholm has some chic hotels. Like, think rooftop bars, infinity pools, and views that will make your jaw drop. And if you're feeling really adventurous, you can stay in an ice hotel. Like an actual hotel made of ice. How cool is that? Chapter 5. Practical travel tips for Sweden. Don't worry, I got you. Okay, let's get real for a sec. Planning a trip can be stressful, but don't worry, I got you. First things first, the best time to visit Sweden is during the summer when it's warm and sunny. But if you're down for some winter wonderland vibes, Christmas in Sweden is magical. Just make sure you pack your warmest coat. The currency in Sweden is the Swedish krona, but most places accept credit cards. And don't worry about learning Swedish, everyone speaks English. But it's always nice to learn a few basic phrases like hedge, hello, and tack, thank you. Trust me, it'll make you seem like a local. Chapter 6. Swedish Nature and Outdoor Adventures. Get ready to be one with nature and maybe see some reindeer. Okay, nature lovers, this one's for you. Sweden is literally a nature lover's paradise. Like, seriously, it's breathtaking. We're talking pristine lakes, snow-capped mountains, and forests that go on forever. And the best part? There are so many ways to experience it. Hiking, kayaking, skiing, you name it. We went hiking in Abisko National Park, and it was like walking into a postcard. And yes, we saw the northern lights. It was the most magical thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And if you're lucky, you might even spot some reindeer. Like actual reindeer roaming free in the wild. How cool is that? Outro Sweden Travel Guide. Okay, that's a wrap. So there you have it, my ultimate guide to Sweden. I told you I'd turn you into a Sweden expert. From the stunning scenery to the delicious food and the rich history and culture, Sweden has something for everyone. And with these travel tips, you're sure to have an unforgettable trip. So what are you waiting for? Book that flight, pack your bags, and get ready to experience the magic of Sweden for yourself. And don't forget to come back and tell me all about it in the comments below.